probably one of the most terrifying days in my personal and professional career because today is my very first day of teaching at a university. So I thought I would bring you along with me. Okay, so I have escaped all of the undergraduates and I'm now in the postgraduate research centre. I have my own room with my own monitor, which is why I can talk to you without fear of judgment. Also because I was in the silent study section, I couldn't actually talk, but anywho, I'm here. I had brunch with my mum and my brother this morning. I'm up in Brisbane. I got here 4 hours early because I am so nervous. I think simply because I know today is a massive step both personally and professionally, and as someone who has a proclivity to overthink, all of that is just kind of rolling into one, and I didn't sleep very well because I was kind of mulling over every single thing that could go wrong. So I'm going to use my brain for some good. I'm going to start doing some light readings for my masters. I'm also going to read over the content that I actually have to teach today because thankfully it's starting in the medieval period, and as the semester goes on it goes into the modern period, so I become less and less qualified as the semester goes on, but at least we're starting in my safe space. So I have to reread that. I also want to get some reading done out of this book. It's actually not written by a historian, it's written by an organist, because the Pope that I'm studying may or may not have invented the organ. She's trying to argue that he did, and I mean, as I get to know the dude, it makes more and more sense that he may have had something to do with it. That's not actually what I am researching specifically, but it has a lot of good resources in it, so I'm not so much using it as an actual source, I'm using it to find other sources. Do not sleep on bibliographies, they are your friend. Now that I actually have my own space, I can actually kind of calm down a little bit and get some work done. I honestly don't know how much I'm going to be able to film of my actual tutorials themselves because they do have students involved. I don't want to break any kind of rules or anything, but I do want to document something. I'll show you where I'm teaching, I'll show you the room. So I have everything prepared, I actually just have to now go and do it, and the doing it bit is the scary bit, but it's also very exciting. So until then, I will be studying. So I went and heated up my lunch, and now I'm going to try again get some study done before I do this tutorial. But today has already kind of been a very shambled day, so I will share as much as I can. I just actually want to be settled and get some work done. I never actually explained what I am reading at the moment. At the moment, I am starting the very semi-daunting process of getting to know the primary sources that I have for my masters. So as I've said in previous videos, I am doing a memory reception study on Pope Sylvester II. He was a 10th century pope. He had a maths degree, very, very inspiring individual, a wonderful teacher. And so we have a lot of his papal letters that have survived, and they've gone through various iterations. At the moment, I'm reading the most up-to-date version, which is still, I think, over 20 years old. There are 226 letters that I'm going to read. It's over 400 pages long. So this is definitely a key primary source for me because it's written by the hand of the person that I'm actually studying. If I can use his own words in my studies, that will be a very useful thing to have. I'm getting to know Sylvester through his own writing. This is going to be quite a ride. I can't say I've read 226 letters back to back before, but I'm about to. Thankfully, the rest of my primary sources I think are at max 4 pages, so I'm getting the really big one out of the way. And I know that I will reread this multiple times in dribs and drabs, but this is the first reading. I'm trying to take it in as much as possible. So yes, that is what I'm reading at the moment. You've got a minute and a half left. I'm just going to pick a random name. I haven't learnt all your names off by heart. I'm so sorry. It has been 16 minutes. I will endeavour to learn all of your names. Oh my gosh, I did it. That's nuts. 2 classes. Tick. I handed out lollies because lollies are always a winner. Yeah, there is a lot to... Ooh, I'm looking blue. there's a lot to debrief about, but this is where all of my students sit. This is where I stood. I did have a coffee, but yes, lovely classroom. It's air conditioned, which is a blessing. And no one's come in to kick me out afterwards, which is also amazing. So can't believe that's done. It's such a relief. I can breathe now. But yeah, there's a lot to process. I just kind of need to go lay down first, and then we can discuss after, maybe when I'm getting unready from tonight. But first week is done. So it's not the evening, it's actually the next day, and I'm getting ready to go to the airport, but I did want to catch you up on how everything went yesterday with the tutorials, because it was a big day and I couldn't really film as much as I'd wanted to, just because I had people kicking me out of rooms, and then I didn't want to film my students too much because they'd be like, who is this weirdo? I've known her for all of 50 minutes. But with all of that said, it was the greatest pleasure I have had in a very long time to teach a set of students like that. My parents are going to giggle when they hear me say this, but I had always been so against being a teacher. I'd wanted to be an academic and research, but I've realized that part of research is collaboration, and collaborating with my students was so much fun, and talking them through some really key points about medieval history and just history in general was so, to see their face go, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. It was I was like, do you understand how cool history is? And they kind of got it a little bit more by the end of the lesson, but I couldn't have asked for it to go better. There was quite a variety of individuals in the class to begin with, so I knew that it was going to be an interesting combination, especially the second class. But with that said, there were some really lovely people in both of them. Honestly, it was kind of funny at the start when everyone was waiting outside to get into the classroom. I think they thought I was just another student, because I am quite young. And I don't look like a tutor, I don't look like an academic, which is kind of fun. So when they saw me go up the front, I literally watched this girl's demeanor completely change. And not that I wanted that to happen, but I think it did catch her by surprise. I didn't kind of assert myself out in the corridor, I just kind of stood there waiting, and so just to see her demeanor change. But she was so lovely, so it wasn't a bad change, but just little things like that. And we had discussions about everything from my dog to my tattoos, besides obviously medieval history. And we did have to cover some pretty heavy topics. Talking about Islam and the papacy right now is not exactly a walk in the park, and I think everyone kind of took it really well. There was some interesting wording said by a couple of them, and we just kind of had to adjust some things and how we talk about other religions, but they were all so lovely, and it was really affirming that this is something that I do want to do, is share history and also add to it, because I feel like there's still so much to be learnt and to be added to the historical record. And I know that I'm just a single individual, but that's not to say that I can't have an impact. And I think showing that women in academia, what has previously been a very male focused field, is starting to become a really big positive. So it was such a wonderful day. My brother also got some really exciting news, which I can't share because it's his news, but it was a big day for my family. My parents were just kind of beaming from ear to ear when I got home, and then when we heard about Lucas, it was just it was the most excellent day. So in classic Sarah fashion, as I said, I'm now getting ready to go to the airport, because this weekend my partner and I are going to the Formula One. It's our first time going to a Grand Prix in person. We've both been following F1 for years. He's actually named after an F1 driver, so it kind of felt fitting that we went to a Grand Prix, and we thought 2026, why not? And then it turned out to be just one of the biggest races in the calendar, because it's the start of the season, there's a whole new team, so that is what I'm getting ready for. And I haven't been to Melbourne since the medieval conference, and my partner hasn't been there since he was 12, so it's very exciting. I'm so excited for this weekend. To think I started this week, I was in bed, ill as anything. I was so unwell. I just said to myself, I have to get better, because there's no way I'm missing this. So I'm very grateful that the antihistamines and the amount of cultural cold and flu that I took was able to revive my soul so I could teach and then jump on a plane. but I'm literally just pretty much going to have to jump straight into the car after this. It's been a massive week. I think I've said that about 3 times, but it has been. I'm finally sleeping better as well. It is amazing what your brain can do when you are nervous about something. But I just kind of took it as I'm very excited to do this thing. I care about it deeply, but my brain took it as let me overthink in every way, shape and form. But I hope everyone else is doing well. I will be vlogging the entire Melbourne experience because if anything, I just want to be able to show my kids what mum and dad did before they were born. With that, I should probably wrap this up because now I'm just rambling. So I have no idea what this video is going to turn out like because I haven't edited it yet. So I hope you enjoyed whatever this turned out to be. The first step of many in an academic career, and one that I'm very excited to share as things progress. I would love to lecture at some point because I feel like that's kind of just the next natural step, is to lecture. So I'm hoping to make that a reality quite soon. Probably not this semester because I'd just like to take things one step at a time, but I also have so many other things happening. I start my master's degree in less than a month now, which does not feel real. I think because 2 years ago I didn't even know if I was getting into honours, and that entire emotional roller coaster kind of really knocked me mentally to question whether or not I was built to do this. And so to have all of this external affirmation of yes, I am meant to do this and I am about to start my master's and this is something that I'm built for, to have external validation, not just internal, it makes the world of difference. So that's my ramble. That's my catch up. If I've missed anything and you'd like some clarification, please let me know. So I would really appreciate it if you liked, subscribed and followed along for more of my academic journey, and I will see you when I am in Melbourne. Bye!